Good evening, everyone. Warrior Poet here. I hope everybody's doing all right. Today, in this segment, I wanted to touch up on the incident that happened between the Covington High School Catholic students and the Native American by the name of Nathan Phillips. Before I go over the incident, I wanted to go over a little bit about Nathan Phillips. Apparently, he's claiming that he is a Vietnam veteran or Vietnam Times veteran, whatever that is. I guess Vietnam era veteran. I turned to my man Don Shipley, fellow veteran, Navy SEAL vet, who's also here on YouTube. Check him out. His name's Don Shipley, Navy SEAL Challenge, I believe it's called. He basically chases down phonies that pretend to be veterans. A lot of them, pretend to be Navy SEALs, Marines, soldiers, and he pretty much gets them for stolen valor. But he did research on the Nathan Phillips character here, and what he was he served in the Marine Corps Reserve from 1972 to 1976, and he was a refrigerator mechanic. I guess also an electrician. He went AWOL a few times, UA, mean unauthorized absence, and he was transferred to a few bases. So he wasn't didn't have a very impressive military career, seeing he got out as a private, which is the lowest rank you can be, meaning he probably spent time in the brig, and he probably got busted down in rank. Now, let's just set that aside for a minute. Let's forget about the fact that he didn't have an impressive career. He claimed he went to Vietnam. Completely false. He never left the States while serving in the military. So he lied about that, and he also claimed he was a recon ranger. Now, I've never heard of that term in my entire military career. I don't know what a recon ranger is. In the Marine Corps, we have what we call recon battalion, which is a reconnaissance unit, and you have to go through some specialized training for that. And if you're going into recon, you're not just a private. You're going to be probably at least a PFC and above, and make it to a non-commissioned officer, a corporal or a sergeant. So anyways, he lied about his service, and he went on national TV doing it. And I think that says a lot about him as a person. I think he likes to tell tales and not be truthful. The incident between him and the Covington Catholic schoolboys, I think what really happened was that he wanted to make a name for himself. He claims that these boys approached him, surrounded him, started screaming, "Build the wall," or chanting, "Build the wall," and he felt threatened for his life. I've watched the video, and I've done my research. I've researched well over a dozen different sources for this matter, and I will tell you that those boys did nothing to threaten him, and they said nothing to threaten him. What did happen was he approached them, not them approaching him, the other way around like he claimed, and he started banging on his drum. And when he was banging on his drum, he had people behind him, a group known as the Hebrew Black Israelites. And I did a little research on them, and they are definitely a hate group. They promote their own race, and they do nothing for the community, and they just basically are against anything Trump does. But they're just a hate group. They're a lot like the Black Panthers, but worse. Now, these black Hebrew Israelites started shouting faggots, cracker, child molesting priests, or babies made of incest. These are the things that they were saying to these kids. And these kids were just standing there waiting for the bus. They didn't say or do anything. And that's what really eats at me, is NBC, CNN, the liberal media, and all these celebrities out there are calling for these kids to be punished. Some of them even sending them death threats to them and their families. And that is completely outrageous, seeing that the Nathan Phillips created this problem himself by going up to these kids. And I know why he went up to these kids. There's no doubt in my mind. He went up to those kids because they were wearing Donald Trump Make America Great Again hats. And he didn't like that. And neither did the Hebrew black Israelites. So he's basically going on national television saying he's the victim, when it's really the other way around. Nick Sandman, the young boy that was that went face to face with Nathan Phillips, was interviewed last night, and the woman interviewing him was basically going after him, saying, "Well, are you sorry? Do you think you owe him an apology? Oh, but the way you were standing there, that seemed, so threatening. It's like he stood there and he had a smile. Last time I checked, smiling doesn't mean you're racist, and it's not a threat. I think what he was doing was standing his ground, as most people were thinking. And there's already being signs and shirts made with his face on it. Stand your ground. Which I think any boy growing up to be a man should do. Stand your ground if someone is confronting you. But when he was interviewed, I was very proud of the way Nick Sandman actually responded. He said that he meant no harm towards Nathan Phillips, and now that he thought about it, he wishes he would have walked away from the problem. But and he said he wanted to talk to Nathan Phillips, and he actually thanked him for his service, even though he didn't really do much in the military. I'm not trying to degrade him in what he did in the military, but wasn't very impressive. And he lied about going to Vietnam, and he lied about what he did. And to me, that says that he's desperate for attention and 15 minutes of fame on national televised broadcast. So I think this is another lesson that we need to learn, that the liberal media cannot be trusted. They're only going to show you the biased half of what they want you to hear or see. I didn't hear anything about these Hebrew black Israelites and what they were saying, threatening these kids and calling them these names, until I turned on Fox News. You can come after me all you want for watching Fox News, but at least Fox is showing both sides of the argument. So the liberal media never ceases to amaze me as far as what they're out for an agenda. They want to see Trump fail. And anybody that's affiliated with Trump, they want to make them look bad. And that's what they try to do with these Catholic school kids. And I think that's pretty bad, that you have the media and all these left-wingers and everybody else that's on this agenda trying to make these innocent kids look guilty of racism and hate, when all they were doing was waiting for a school bus at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. on a school trip. So I think we need to wake up, because this is ridiculous. That's all I have on this segment. I hope you enjoyed it. And agree, disagree, cheers and gripes. But always keep up the good fight.